Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about For Your Eyes Only. And this movie came out in 1981, and it stars Roger Moore as James Bond once again, and it's a sequel to Moonraker. And before I get into the film, I think it's probably best to compare this movie to some of the previous ones with Roger Moore in them, of course. Out of all of the Roger Moore James Bond films, this was my least favorite, and I thought it was average overall. Not saying that, there are just like things about it that just don't work for me and I'm just constantly bored throughout. It's like pros versus cons, achievements versus annoyances, and things that I don't really connect with. Like every positive that I have for this film, I also have a negative, unfortunately. But I'll get into my positives with this film right away. I thought the stunts were impressive and really fun to watch, and the action scenes, while the opening action scene had too many cuts for my liking, I felt as though they were well handled overall, and Roger Moore, I still like him a lot as James Bond. He's always worked for me, and this movie is no exception. There were some well done practical effects and some fun explosions that you get to see that's in camera. I also enjoyed the opening theme song. I thought it was memorable and something that complemented the film and felt like a James Bond film for sure. And I found the first half of this movie thoroughly entertaining, and I was like, okay, we're going through, I guess, the motions of what these movies are, but I'm still enjoying what's being presented at the very least, and the chase scenes were fun for sure, and Q, he's always funny, and while Q isn't in the movie a lot, he's still funny whenever he comes up on screen, as he usually is. I also enjoyed the tone of the film. I was enjoying that it was just like a kind of dumb spy movie from the 80s, and I liked it for that, and it's also interesting to note that this movie came out the same year as the first Indiana Jones film, that being Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I quite like that movie. This one was just a film that went through the motions of a James Bond film and didn't really do a whole lot to make itself stand out. There were some parts of it that were kind of memorable for me, but overall I just didn't really take away much from this movie. Like, I like the underwater stuff, that was kind of fun, but it's also kind of goofy in which things are presented, which it's a James Bond movie, like a Roger Moore James Bond film. I get that it's supposed to be that way, but still, kind of wish that there was something for me to latch onto and really care about, which I just wasn't really caring about much in this film. Like, the second half of this movie, I barely absorbed it, and it's just very forgettable to me. The logic of this movie, well, I can kind of somewhat forgive it because it's a dumb, cheesy spy movie from the 80s, but there are still parts of it where I'm like, okay, this doesn't make any sense, and I'm just kind of being irritated and pulled out of the film by just how stupid certain things are. The music in this movie wasn't great. It was just generic music that didn't fit the tone of the movie at all, and I found it to be very distracting. The sound mixing in this movie was annoying, really loud in the action scenes, but really quiet in the dialogue scenes. I hate having to adjust my volume because of that. It's so annoying to me. I never really found any good reason to pay attention to much of anything in this movie. I was just kind of bored and watching things happen, kind of, and I just wasn't absorbing any of it. It was just things happening, and I just don't care. I never once felt tension throughout this entire movie. It was just a very hollow experience in the second half. I don't know what happened. It just didn't give me anything to really chew on or think about or really much of anything. It kind of just didn't really work as nice, simple entertainment, which is the bare minimum of what these James Bond movies need to be for them to be entertaining for me, and this movie just wasn't. There's a lot of action scenes in this movie, but I kind of felt as though that did the film a disservice, because at any given point, I was just thinking, oh, are these characters going to fight James Bond? And sure enough, they do. Like, why did that need to happen? I don't know. And a lot of things just felt inconsequential, and I was just kind of bored because of it. And there was so much action in this movie that I just was getting kind of bored of it. The story itself was fine. I don't really remember it really. It's a story, I guess. It has a plot. I don't really remember it, and I kind of liked how the title of the movie came into play into the film, but that was about it. I didn't really take away much else from this film. It's probably my least favorite Roger Moore James Bond film, and I guess I'll rewatch it if I'm in the mood for a James Bond marathon, especially a Roger Moore James Bond marathon. But aside from that, I'm not rushing back to this one. My favorite Roger Moore James Bond film is still The Spy Who Loved Me, so I was hoping for something along those lines, but unfortunately I didn't get it here. So with all that being said, I'm going to give For Your Eyes Only a 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of For Your Eyes Only, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.